So, problem one, uh, what are we going to start with? Same things. Say the expectations are never going to change. Four steps. What do we do first? Declare those variables. And I think in this case, since they're called already the larger and the smaller, I don't see why we wouldn't go with that. So let's all let L equal the larger number. And of course, feel like this has got to be the 10th time by now that you've done a problem just like this. And then S is going to be the smaller number. All right, good. Step one in the books. Step two, I have to be able to read and understand an English sentence to turn it into a mathematical sentence. So let's begin with this much of let's chunk this much. That's a lot. That's a big chunk, but I feel like we can knock all that out. What's that going to say? 4 times the larger number is equal to 4 times the larger number is equal to. Boom. Just destroyed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 words with two symbols. Oof. And then all that's left is this little chunk on the right side that says 6 times the smaller. And what's that going to look like? 6s. Very good. What an interesting looking equation, right? So I don't, there's a combination of things that are about to happen. Number one, the words I think start to get a little harder to understand. But number two, the equations are also going to start to look a little bit more wonky. Sometimes you're going to see systems where like you can't really tell, should I use substitution or should I use elimination? So we'd never seen an equation in our last 4 or 5 days of doing this that looked like that. It's okay. It is what it is. And then the next equation is something that you've seen many times by now. I'm not even going to underline or chunk read it. What does it mean when it says the sum of the numbers is 20? Every time L plus S equals 20, plain and simple. So I think this is our first real example of a problem where you look at it and you just could go either way. I could be sold either way. If you were going to make a case for substitution, which variable would you get by itself? Top S or bottom S? Bottom S? I agree. I could be easily swayed, convinced that we should get the bottom S by itself or the bottom L by itself. I could go either way. So if you're comfortable, we can proceed. If you wanted to do elimination, just FYI, I don't, some of you just see me write and you write. I might hold off a little bit here. I'm just going to throw this out, kind of a hypothetical. If you wanted to do elimination because you miss it, you could set it up as 4L minus 6S equals 0. And then you have your L plus S equals 20. And then you've got it kind of structured correctly for the elimination process. So I just want you to feel or understand that like that's out there. But I like substitution, I think, in this case. So Joseph said, why don't we get S by itself? So we're going to take this equation, the bottom one, this one, and let's isolate the S. So S equals what? Negative L plus 20. Huge. Okay. Remember, we just move things around. It's easy peasy. Move it across, make it negative, piece of cake. And since we're substituting, let's put a box around it. And where are we going to put that? In place of S, but in the top equation, right? So we're going to take the red box and we're going to put it right where that arrow is pointing, right there. And again, we're still, it feels weird, but like if we embrace and have faith in the process, it can look as weird as it wants, but I know how to do substitution. Like I know what the steps tell me to do. So even this equation, after we do our substitution, it's going to look weird, man. It's going to say 4L equals 6 blank. The artist formerly known as S is now a blank awaiting our input. And what are we going to put in that blank? Like that. We're still outside our comfort zone. Like this is testing our boundaries, but like how confident am I in myself? Like, so does it look different? Yes. Is it going to keep me up tonight? No. I'm going to do the stuff I know how to do. I know I have to distribute. So I'm going to distribute. And on the left-hand side, I'm going to get 4L. And on the right-hand side, when I distribute the 6 to here and here, what do I get? Have faith.
Oh,
I get negative 6L plus 120. Nice. Still uncomfortable. We're not going to feel really comfortable until about a minute from now when this equation is solved. Because even this is something that we haven't been seeing a lot of. But this is why we do what we do in August and September, is so that in March and April, we can handle things like this. Somebody has to move up here, and there's really only one sensibly good answer to this question. Who moves? The negative 6L is the only good answer because the 120 is already over on the right-hand side and he's got nobody to go with. So if I take this 6L and I move it across, just showing my work here a little bit, just in case, then what happens is I now am right back. This is where we're comfortable right now. As I finally go, oh, I see. I have 10 L's on the left. I have 120 on the right. That's what I was hoping to see. A nice normal equation like this. If you divide both sides by 10, what is L? 12. So we made it. I mean, pretty much. I've always said about substitution, we've done 90% of the work, but we only know 50% of the answer. And so how are we going to find S? Plug it right up into the box. Why anyone wouldn't use the box in a case like this, I don't know, man. But I think I said yesterday, like, I think Rowdy asked the question, could I just use common sense? And in a case like this, I think you got a good leg to stand on, you know. It's obvious. If you know anything about mathematics, if you have two numbers that add to make 20 and one of them's 12, what does the other one have to be?
eight.
It has to be 8. So we can now say that S equals 8. Okay. So step 3 is done. We go back to step 4 now and just say, what did the question want me to do? And the question said, what are the numbers? Kind of familiar, kind of like yesterday. So we're just going to make a sentence and say, the numbers are 8 and 12, or 12 and 8. It doesn't matter. Good. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So why, like, when it says negative L and like positive L, why would it, like, when you put that up, that negative L, why would it say positive stuff?
Did you tell me which one you're talking about, kid?
Right there, when you move the L equals 12 to
Because
a
negative minus
negative.
negative times 12 is negative 12.
Yeah.
I think Rowdy's understanding your question better than I am. So you keep pointing at the TV like I can tell where you're pointing. Are you up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Negative L,
Right.
why they,
It is. In negative 12 plus 20 equals 8.
oh,
So I guess the point is that like if you put it in the box and work it out, it will become negative 12 plus 20, which is positive 8.
oh,
Are you sure?
yes.
But you could also, in a case like this, bypass that and just employ again the thinking that, hey, my numbers add to make 20. If I know one of them's 12, the other one has to be 8, right? Be okay?
Yeah.
You sure? Okay. Number 2, I feel like we're going to use the same variables again because we just that's given to us that way. So let's just take like 10 seconds and that pen is too fat. Let's go with let L equal, again, the larger number. And let's let S equal the smaller number. All right. I don't know if that was 10 seconds, but it felt kind of close. Step one is done. Step two, here we go. Chunk reading is your friend. I'm going to underline part of it. And, I won't be there when you're doing your homework at home or when you're working on a test. I won't be able to chunk for you. But when we do notes together like this, I'm happy to help. Your first chunk should go to right there. Stop right there. What does that get replaced by?
L equals
Perfection. So the larger of two numbers is gorgeous. What does the red chunk mean?
-3.
It means leave a space and then put -3. Do not put 3 minus. This isn't a Mr. Ahern thing. It's mathematically incorrect to say that 3 less than something is 3 minus the something. That's not how this works. And then what's going to go next right there?
Do the best.
Good job. So we have 2s. That was a nice equation. Easy peasy. Okay. The next part, the next sentence, again, I'll chunk it with you. It says the sum of the numbers is. What's that going to mean? What does that say?
Equals
There's more to it than that.
L plus S.
Equals. Good. So the sum of the numbers is wonderful. I'm gonna underline some stuff in red. Unfortunately, that's on two different lines, but so what? It's kind of a first world problem, right? 16 less than. What does that mean? Say again? Yes. Space minus 16. Good. Right? If you don't read in chunks, you're going to struggle. And it's not like this is my first year doing this. I'm just telling you from what I know, having done this, having attempted to teach this to 14, 15-year-olds for 30 years. If you're struggling, it's because you're not chunking. Just take it or leave it. I mean, I've got a ton of experience to tell you that reading in small bits is the key, dudes. Twice the larger, what's that going to be? 2L. Good. So, second problem, and second time today, we've been faced with an equation that's unlike anything that's been on any of our previous assignments because that second equation has L's in multiple places. Just not scared, and you shouldn't be either. What method is yelling at us to pick it? Substitution. Yeah. And if that wasn't what you were going to say, you are just not paying attention. L equals means substitution. Go. Box it up. Let's go. Where are we going to put that box? In both L's. I was hoping somebody would say that. And this is an interesting thing to have happen. And there are workarounds where you wouldn't have had to do this. But what I found in the past is let's just leave it as it is. It's okay. Let's just put the box here. Ooh, and here. That's okay. Multiple inputs, all good. So my bottom equation is going to say blank plus S equals 2 blank minus 16. Those blanks both are there because that's where the L's used to be. And in those two blanks, each of them, we're going to tote the contents of the box and boop, boop, just airdrop them right in there. So we have a 2s minus 3 here and a 2s minus 3 here. It's a bit of a mess. It's going to take a moment to clean this mess, but we have the skills. Not scared. Algebra never changes. Expectations in algebra never change. Thou shalt distribute, thou shalt combine like terms. I mean, these things never stop being the truth. So we have two instances. I would think you would agree that these parentheses over on the left are not needed, so I could just eliminate those. They don't really serve a purpose. They were just a visual aid. What is my, I could do a little work while I'm here. What is that going to equal? My left side. Perfection. 3s minus 3. What is the answer to this green arrow?
4s.
What is the answer to this red arrow?
-6.
What is minus 6 minus 16? Nice, dude. I'm going to have a sip of coffee and wait to see if anyone says, where did you get minus 22? I think it's a big moment where you want to make sure you're on board with that. We good? Okay. Now it's time to solve. You could have put minus 6 and minus 16. You'd had to put them together anyways. Like, that's okay. So at this point, this is a standard 3-step equation. This one's actually only 2, but usually these take 3 steps. Step 1, bring the variables to one side together. Step 2, bring the numbers to the other side. Step 3, divide by whatever winds up stuck to the variable. Why will this one only take 2 steps? There's not going to be any numbers stuck to my variable when I do the smart thing here. Subtracting 4s is not the smart thing, FYI. That's going to make more work for yourself. My thinking is, why don't I do this? That's pretty smart because then I'm left on the right-hand side with only 1s. Ah, it's positive. And then while we're here, why don't we go ahead and just say, well, if the s's came and took over the east side, then hey, 22, I need you to get out of here. Go to the west side. So we're going to add 22 to both sides while we're here. What does s equal? Perfect. Way more complex looking and feeling than the problems we've done before. But it boils down to, can I do step 2? Obviously, did I pay attention in August and September and October? Did I learn the right order to distribute combined like terms and move things around? But the new stuff is, can I read well? Can I understand? Can I chunk read? And can I write equations? So S is 19. Let's go read the question real quick and see what it asked us for. Again, it just says, what are the numbers? So the implication is you better go find the other one. So I feel in this case like you'd probably be pretty nuts to not take the 19 and put it in that box. I can't think of a simpler course of action than that. So if we go into the box and we change S into 19, mental math, what's 2 times 19? 38. And what's 38 minus 3? So we can say that the larger number is 35. And then we just write a sentence and say the numbers are 19 and 35. Boom. Capital at the beginning, period at the end, piece of cake. Any questions so far? Okay, number 3. So Mark and Julia, they go to the same food truck. Bless you. And they're each sent to buy dinner for their families. And so Mark walks up and he buys 5 tacos and 6 burritos, spends some money. Julia walks up and buys 7 tacos and only 4 burritos, and she spends some money. The question is, how much did each item cost at the food truck? If all we knew was Mark or Julia, we could never solve this problem. Ever. There'd be infinite combinations. But if 2 people, then we're locked in 2 equations, 2 variables. So first off, let's do variables. What do we want to use? I would. Let's let T equal the cost of a taco. And let's let B equal cost of a burrito. Again, 10, 20 seconds. Easy peasy. Simple equations here, I think. You with us? Just looking for something to throw at you. Darth Vader. Yay. Uh, what? Say again?
Teaser.
Yeah, if you don't want to use T's, if your T's look like plus signs, I get it. You could use C for taco. You could use anything. You could use X and Y like every time if that's your thing. I hate it, but you could. So, write me an equation. Write me an equation for Mark. So 5 tacos plus 6 burritos cost $43. Well, that's pretty straightforward. Okay. How about an equation for Julia? 7 tacos plus 4 burritos cost Julia $41.5. The method, I think, sort of chooses itself here. What would we use? Oh, yeah, elimination. So the question becomes, Aubrey, do you want to eliminate the T's or the B's?
Uh,
That's what I would have picked too. What's the smallest number in the known universe that 6 and 4 can both go up and turn into? Don't say 24. No, don't do that. Don't listen to him. Oh, all right. Everyone's answering for you, Aubrey. You got a lot of helpers here today. We're going to turn the B's both into 12s. However, we want to be very aware that one of them has to become a negative 12. So, what do you want to multiply the top equation by? -2 works for me. Bottom equation by? Good. Would it work to turn them both into 24s? Sure. You could turn them both into 48s. You could turn them both into 120s. You could turn them both into whatever you want, as long as they both go into it. That's the rule. All right. So now let's modify our equation. So what's our new top equation going to say? Someone maybe on this side of the room? Let's spread the wealth a little bit. What's our bottom equation going to say?
21 plus 12B equals 1,724.5.
I think you nailed it. Did you do that in your head?
Yeah.
I so appreciate that. If you guys math this, 3 times just the 41 is 120 plus 3. And then, of course, you all know that 3 times 50 cents is $1.50. I love the mental math. So that does indeed equal 124.5. So much respect for that kind of stuff. Love it. So now let's draw our line and do our thing. If we add them together, how many T's do we get? Yeah. And the B's cancel. -86 plus 124.5. That's a tough one to do mentally. Even I would pause here.
37.
37.5.
37.
I'm seeing 38.5. This is a good time to do it backwards if you're into mental math. If you're a calculator person, you don't care. But if you like to do mental math, I would do this one as $124.50 minus 86 whole dollars. And then you can see where the 38.5 comes from. Yeah, those are gnarly calculations. When you start negative positive with like decimals, like it gets hairy in there. Divide by 11, what do you get? Say again. So what did we just learn? Pay 350 for a taco at the food truck. Okay. Now we have to probably go find the cost of a burrito. Oh, look at the question. Odd. Had it said, what is the price of a taco, we'd be done. But it says, sorry, what's the cost of a burrito? So we do have to go back now and calculate a burrito. And the best way to do that is to pick one of these equations up at the top of the board. I I can't imagine anyone would want to pick the one with the decimal just for fun. So we're probably going to choose this one. Just put that anywhere. The one in the green box, right? So if I turn t into 3.5, it looks like this. 5 times 3.5 plus 6b equals 43. What's 5 times 350? I don't know where the negative would come from. 5 times $3 is 15. 5 times 50 cents is 250. I'm seeing 1750. Because 5 times 50 cents is 250. Bless you. All right, next step. Yep. Subtract 17.5, and that's going to be 25.5, I believe. And then divide everything by 6. What's B? Say again, bud.
Oh.
So we now know the cost of each item at whatever food truck this is. And we can now answer the question. And the question is not just what are the numbers, right? The question is how much does a burrito cost? So we could say the cost of I mean, you don't have to use my words. I just make this stuff up as I go. Like there's 100 different ways to write this sentence that all would make sense. But the cost of a burrito is dollar sign 4.25 period. All right. Now, easily the hardest word problem that we've ever done will be this next one. Um, I chose this very much on purpose. When I was going through the worksheet last night, thinking about which ones do I want to hit, this one was never up for debate. So this question every year poses issues for people. So um, read the question and then tell me what variables I should use and what those variables should stand for. Riley? Okay. So let's let L equal something and let's let H equal something. And what will those be, Riley? So number of TVs? Good. So let L equal the number of light TVs. And if it confuses you, you could just write light, or you could write the number of 32-pound TVs. If you want to call them light TVs, that's fine. Okay. And H is the number of the heavier TVs, the 56-pound TVs. Okay. All right. Now we need equations. This will be the hardest equation that we've ever written. This one. Input. Yes. Great job, you guys. So I'm going to write 32L. And I just want to talk about that for a second. What does L stand for? And be more specific. What does L stand for? The number of those TVs in the shipment. And if each one weighs 32 pounds, it makes perfect big brain sense that 32 times that number would equal the number of pounds that are being taken up by those TVs, right?
Mhm.
And then it also makes sense that if I add to that 56H, that represents the number of pounds that are being taken up by the heavier TVs. It's a simple explanation. If there's like five of those and you want to know, hey, how much do those five TVs weigh? Well, do 36 pounds times five. There. Makes perfect sense. So the weight of that portion of the shipment plus the weight of that portion of the shipment equals the total weight of the shipment. Then you get the second equation, which is a joke. Uh, I sorry, I don't mean any offense if you don't see it, but it's in the next sentence. What does it say?
There's 46.
There's 46 TVs. So what does that mean? It means that the number of light TVs plus the number of heavy TVs simply has to equal 46. Facts. Not simple. So which method do you think we ought to use? You like elimination? I'm good with that. Which variable do you want to eliminate? I heard L first, so I'm going to go with L. And the thing about the L's is if I'm going to eliminate them, then what I want to do is I want to change the one on the bottom to say negative 32L. So we're just going to multiply the whole bottom equation by negative 32. The top equation is going to stay the same. The bottom equation, the first two multiplications are really easy because you don't actually multiply any numbers together. So like the first one is obviously negative 32L. The second one is obviously minus 32H. This is calculator village though, right? I need someone's help with, I know it's going to be negative, so I'll just get that out of the way. 32 times 46. 1400? Good. I was going to say 14,000 seems a bit excessive, but yeah. And now we can do the thing. Bless you. We came to do this thing. Let's do it. How many L's do we get? Gone. How many H's do we get? 24. And what's 1952 minus 1472? Nice. And then we divide both sides of this equation by 24. What does H equal? We just learned that there are 20 of the heavier TVs on this truck. Let's go read the question. How many of each type are there? So I guess we better go find the other one as well. I cannot think of a much simpler place to put our 20 than right here. And if you're someone with math anxiety, like some people just, they assume math is like everything is hard, then you struggle with this. But if you just see with clarity, I mean, come on, there's 46 darn TVs on the truck, right? 20 of them are the heavy ones. How many of them have to be the light ones? 26. That's not the kind of thing I would expect you to have to show work on. So the number of light TVs is 26. And there's our 46 total TVs. So we could say for our sentence, there are 20 light TVs and 20. Did I say that wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, that's my bad. There are 26 light TVs and 20 heavy TVs in the shipment. Okay. So I'm going to hand out. Oh, I don't have to hand it out. You have it. It's on the back of page 166. Now that you're done with that one, you flip it over and get working on page 169. All right. We don't have a ton of time, but we got enough to knock out a problem maybe. So let's do 5 good minutes before we pack up.